What's up everybody, John from High Jiu-Jitsu, got Mr. Cam over here. Today in morning class, we practice the armbar from mount, a couple of different armbars from mount. We're going to have a look at one with some really important details, so check it out. Cam's on his back. Now, when I'm in this position, I don't want, come back a little bit. I don't want to set my hand, okay, in his collar when my weight is in the middle, because it's a perfect recipe to get thrown over with a Uber bridge and roll. So what I do is I come off to the side a little bit here, okay, and I bring my knee is guiding underneath his shoulder, okay. So at any point in time, if he's not doing it right now, I'm going to start bringing my hand in the collar. Chances are his arm's going to come over here looking to defend the choking arm, and that's when I'm going to have the time and the space in order to travel my left knee all the way towards his head. Now a few little things are required for this. Let's go back a little bit, Cam. Firstly, I can do it based on his defenses and his attempts for escape, which is a really good idea. So sometimes what people do is they can preemptively do a bridge and roll. And the moment he goes to bridge in this direction, look at his elbow. That's emphasized right there. But even if Cam's with the elbow in and he goes for the bridge and roll, that elbow becomes very vulnerable. So the moment he lifts up his hips, he creates like a bit of a slippery dip for my hips, comes off, I slide up to this high mount position right here. That's one way you can travel up higher and bring your knee in line with the top of the partner's head. Part two is sometimes the person's keeping himself nice and tight, but what I can do here is use my hand like a crowbar, like a post, like a pillar against his collarbone. So when I'm here, my weight's down in this way, I can start to come up against this arm right here. I don't want to come straight up because that's where Cam is really strong. What I want to think about doing is making a bit of a semicircle. So I open up his elbow to the outside, and then start to come up. If I try to go all the way up, I'm fighting his lat, and his lat's a really strong part of his body. If I try to go out and around, I'm fighting a deltoid, okay, and smaller muscles right there, which are a lot weaker, which means they're easier and more effective for me to go against. So 1, 2, I'm here, got that nice deep grip. I'm gonna pin my hand to the mat, my weight's coming onto that hand, and I start sliding, coming to the outside. Sometimes you might still encounter a roadblock. If this is the case, this works for me really well, and that's to bring my hand to the top of his head, and I buckle his neck a little bit, not to hurt him, not to crank the neck, but to take away the structure from his spine. Because when I do that and I turn this across, then it becomes very, very difficult for him to have any kind of resistance against this. And now I start to come up. When you're up, let's turn a little bit this way. When you're up and you've got some weight behind, your hips are behind the shoulder, what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to catch the far elbow, I'm going to extend my leg, I'm going to turn and hook. And now my goal here is to hug against his shoulder girdle, okay? The shoulders, the joints, the collarbones, and all underneath around the structure of his shoulders. I've got a bit of an active foot here so that I don't get pushed backwards if he bridges. And now from here, guys, I'm looking for the end of the stick. And the stick in this case is his right arm, which is what I want. I can start with the left arm first, potentially. Okay, if he goes to defend that, what's going to use to defend this one? Well, the second hand's going to come up. I can, if he's just down here, I can think about coming right to the right hand first. Coming to the end of that stick, connecting my thumb to the collar. And now look at my hips. My hips come forward against the shoulder here to keep this arm extended the whole way. I can bring my hand to the mat, bring my shin across his knee, squeeze my knees together, and go through that arm like that. Or I can bring my leg around, knees together, anchor against something here. I start to come down, and I've got a beautiful armbar right there. When you're finishing the armbar, make sure to handshake, end of the stick to avoid the hitchhiker escape, come down, we've got a beautiful armbar right there. Thanks, Cam. Guys, a few little details there to go through. Have a look at it again. Little aspects that make things so much easier. We're looking for the little details that are going to help our jiu-jitsu be smoother and be more effortless. That's the nature of coming to class and learning and studying this art, you can always get better, and that's what we're here to do. So thanks Cam, thanks everybody. Us.